All right, welcome back to the channel. And in this video, we are going to be in the 135-pound division and the 140-pound division at the same time, where Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia are going to fight. Had a press conference, and in that press conference, Ryan Garcia and pretty much the entire crew took big shots at Errol Spence Jr. and TERENCE Crawford for not being able or willing to do what Ryan Garcia is willing to do. Now, note, I didn't say what Gervonta is willing to do, but what Ryan Garcia is willing to do. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to talk about mega fights in boxing. One that has been made and scheduled, and the press conferences have begun, and that is the fight between Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. Also, though, in the press conference for Gervonta versus Ryan, there were direct shots taken at the Errol Spence Jr. and TERENCE Crawford fight, which to date has not been made. Now, before I get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And also, if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, like my guy, John Bowie, this video is dedicated to you, my man. He had a very unfortunate situation where he was in a car, had a car accident and was injured in that. So I want everybody to send prayers out to my guy, John Bowie, one of the best supporters that any YouTube channel could ever ask for. I hope you're doing well, brother. Get well. And also thank you to everybody else that supports in the channel. Thank you guys so much, especially everybody that supports in the super thanks of videos like this. Now, let's get into this, okay? Good fight is about to take place between Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. Leonard Ellerbe, the CEO of Mayweather Promotions, made a surprise appearance at the press conference for the fight and sat down right next to Calvin Ford, right in between Calvin Ford and Gervonta. Calvin Ford was between Leonard Ellerbe and Gervonta Davis during the press conference. But Leonard Ellerbe got up and spoke. He also gave several interviews, and he referred to this fight as the biggest fight that could be made in all of boxing. Now, I'm not going to disagree with that because Leonard Ellerbe knows what he's talking about. I have no doubt that he knows the numbers. And one of the reasons why people would be led to believe that this is the biggest fight in boxing is because it has two different demographics. It has Mexican American fans, it has Black American fans, and the combination of those are going to bring in the rest of everybody to watch this fight take place. And those over the last, decade or so have been the biggest type of fights. Floyd Mayweather Jr. had a lot of fights like that. Oscar De La Hoya also had fights like that, where you combine two different fan bases and you made for a really, really big fight. Right now, I though have an idea that is a little bit off for me because of the feel that I got from the press conference itself. Now, while it definitely has a feel of a big fight, everybody talking about it without a doubt, I just got a sense that it was not going to be, it's not what the Errol Spence Jr. and TERENCE Crawford fight, the press conference for that would have been, because of the fact that you have, at the end of the day, with the difference is that you have the two of the five best, or two of the three best fighters in all of boxing looking at each other in the face, where everybody's really wondering who's going to win that fight. And the simple spectacle of that is going to bring everybody into the fold, even though you may not see it strictly off of the fact that they have two different demographics. However, that said, the Floyd Mayweather Jr. and the Errol Spence Jr. and TERENCE Crawford fight was alive in the building for sure because of the many comments that were made about it without directly mentioning them. In the telecast itself, you had the Showtime, the Morning Combat crew talking about how this was the biggest fight in boxing and how this will encourage people. What Ryan Garcia is doing will it encourage other fighters to make these big fights that they seem unwilling to make. Ryan Garcia himself was there talking about how this is going to, or at least I'm paraphrasing him. My understanding of what he meant was that, he's doing this. He wants to challenge himself, but also this is, getting past. He was dead set on getting past all of this, all of the, the concern about himself, right? And what would be good for him in order to make this fight for fans, right? Where obviously the implication is that other people are not doing. Now, who are they talking about? Without a doubt, they're talking about Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford. And I have to tell you, dude, I agree with it. I agree with it. There's no reason whatsoever that fight between Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford should not have taken place for both boxers and for the sport of boxing. I most definitely commend Ryan Garcia for doing it. Also, though, you got to commend Gervonta Davis for doing it as well, because Gervonta Davis is fighting a very, very big guy, guy that is much bigger than him, a dude that definitely has knockout power, and at least in his left hand, a very, very solid fighter. It's not some easy fight Gervonta Tank Davis is taking, but it's just an absolute shame where I really do have to agree, and I think most people are going to agree, whether or not whoever wins the fight, that Ryan Garcia himself is more willing to do these things than people that claim that they're going to be or people that not just claim, people that are already saying that they're satisfied, that they're in the Hall of Fame already and that they don't need this anymore, right? And they go and give you fights. I am most definitely talking about Terence Crawford in this incident because I paid very close attention to the Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford negotiations and the talks, and most of you guys have as well, if you're honest. But you have Terence Crawford literally out there saying, "I'm past that. I don't need it. That fight doesn't mean anything to me. It means everything to Errol, but I'm already in the Hall of Fame, and you'll never see it." And then trying to I need to take another fight if I can't get it. All of that stuff that was going on, man, making it very much sound like he didn't care about that fight for himself, nor for boxing at large. So, it's just the criticism that was shot at that fight is well deserved. And honestly, man, if the buck stops where the buck stops, I guess you could say, well, did Errol Spence Jr. Do whatever Bud wanted to do to get that fight done? Did he agree to fight for no money or what? All that other stuff. The fact of the matter is, two of these guys were unable to get that fight done. And should be a bit embarrassing and a big missed opportunity for both of those guys. I personally think I know who the but for cause of that is. But at the end of the day, Ryan Garcia, especially if Ryan Garcia wins that fight, is going to pass up all these guys. And in a situation where, you're not going to, where it's not the best fight in boxing. It's not the biggest fight in boxing, but it's going to be the biggest fight that you can get. However, at the same time, there are other people that are literally doing the same thing. You've got Canelo Alvarez, who won't take certain fights. You have Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury, where Tyson Fury is not fighting for undisputed against Alexander Usyk. You have, all kind of mechanisms in place to prevent Beterbiev from fighting from fighting Dimitri Bivol at light heavyweight. Just a whole bunch of stuff, man. But it's just, and the interesting thing is that this fight though really doesn't even have any belts in it, right? Except for the WBA regular, which is with Gervonta Davis, but nobody's even really talking about that. So anyway, man, I hate to have to agree with what Ryan Garcia said. and what everybody, a whole bunch of other people are implying. The only disagreement that I have is whether or not that's really the biggest fight in boxing. And I don't believe it is. You also had another situation where you had a fight that big or bigger several years ago, which was Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, which Eddie Hearn put the stops in. So, I don't think that this should just go over there towards Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. It also should go to a lot of other people for doing the same thing. But who's going to get most of the heat, right? The one that's the most recent. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.